Good evening. We have a capacity crowd, which is a wonderful thing, but we need for you to make some room for people in the back. So if you have an empty seat or row, if you could move in and let people get a seat, that would be wonderful, and we would get started. There's some seats down here closer. I promise I won't make you get on stage if you want to have a seat. All right. Please rise for the presentation of our flag and Pledge of Allegiance, Boy Scout Troop number 140.
Color Guard advance. Color Guard, prepare to post the colors. Salute or hand over heart if you are not in uniform. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. Color Guard, return to post. Please be seated.
Thank you, Boy Scout Troop 140, for always willing to come and lead us in a presentation of our flag and our Pledge of Allegiance. Good evening, everyone. I'm Vanessa Baker Latimer. I'm a member of the Martin Luther King Planning Committee and the Housing Coordinator for the City of Ames, and I'm honored to be your MC this evening. Before we get started, if we have any elected officials in the audience, whether local, state, or federal, also if we have any military men and women, active or retired, or service personnel like police, fire, and hospital, please stand because we want to honor and thank you for your service. Can we turn the lights up, please? Thank you. Also, I am asking that we all please pause with me for a moment of silence for the victims of the Los Angeles fires, the Bourbon Street, New Orleans massacre, Hurricane Helene, and other tragedies occurring in our nation and around the world. Thank you. We want to acknowledge and thank our event sponsors as listed on the back of your program, the city staff, Eric Gephardt, Craig Kaufman, volunteers, and the 2025 MLK Planning Committee. History tells us that 2025 marks the 50th anniversary of Dr. Martin Luther King's assassination. And although his death was tragic and violent, he left us a great nonviolence legacy in which to strive to continue to bring together our community, equality, and ensuring civil rights for all people, regardless of their color of their skin. He would have been 96 years old today. The good news is that your presence and participation here tonight honors and celebrates what he fought and died for. So we want to welcome you to the 25 Martin Luther King Jr. Community Celebration. Next, we'll have greetings from Kelly Winfred, the board president of the Ames Community School District, followed by Lisa Heddens, chair of the Story County Board of Supervisors, followed by Dr. Wendy Winterstein, president of Iowa State University, and then followed by John Haler, mayor of the city of Ames.
On behalf of the Ames School Board and District, thank you, Vanessa, and all of the committee members who organized this wonderful event. This gives us an opportunity as a community to reflect on King's work and consider how it does and should impact how we live. Coming from an educational perspective, King spoke on the importance of education often. In an article he wrote in 1947 titled "The Purpose of Education," he argued that education must include teaching people to be moral citizens who can think critically. I encourage you to look up this short article. It says a lot more that is strikingly relevant today. The Ames School District is building citizens. Our district strives to inspire and empower all students and to ensure they get what they need to be successful. I firmly believe that a good public education is the foundation of democracy, to building strong communities, and to realizing King's dream. Thank you to our community for the support that you give the school district, and a special thank you to all of our educators and everyone who supports our students throughout the district. Thank you.
Good evening. On behalf of the Board of Supervisors, I'd like to welcome you all to this event that both remembers and recognizes the contributions of Dr. King. As I was thinking about this evening, I thought about the many speeches of Dr. King's and the numerous quotes that came from them. One quote in particular of his, "The time is always right to do what is right," to me showcases the many opportunities before us to bring people together, to strengthen and move forward in our collaborations to serve all throughout our communities, and to know that together we can make a difference. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy tonight's celebration.
Good evening. It's an honor to be here with you for this annual celebration of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. I want to add my thanks and appreciation to all of you for attending this special event, both in person and virtually. This is a wonderful opportunity for us to come together to commemorate one of the greatest leaders in our nation's history. It's also an important opportunity for us to reaffirm our commitment to Dr. King's vision to create a community where everyone is welcomed. Since our founding in 1869, Iowa State has been striving to be a place where all individuals are welcomed and supported on their educational journey. We aspire to be the most student-centric leading research university where everyone can work hard and achieve their full potential. Central to this goal is the belief in the importance of community. We know that our students who have a sense of connection and belonging on campus are most likely to stay in school, graduate, and go on to have successful lives and careers. Later tonight, you'll hear from one of our great leaders, Dr. Toya Younger, Senior Vice President for Student Affairs. Dr. Younger and her team are dedicated to supporting our students in all aspects of their university experience. They work hard every day to provide the resources and care for our students to meet their individual needs, helping to make our large university feel like a small, close-knit community. As we enjoy tonight's program, let us reflect on the ways we can support Dr. King's vision of creating a community where everyone is welcomed. I hope we can leave here tonight feeling more connected to one another and more unified in making our campus and community a better place for all. Thank you.
Well, good evening. On behalf of the Ames City Council and the City of Ames, it's my pleasure to welcome you to tonight's celebration honoring Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. For those of you who have been here before, for several years, my greeting has included the following reflection and question. One of the core values held by Dr. Martin Luther King was serving mankind. He said, quote, "Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others?" So in honor of his memory and to continue working towards making Ames an even more welcoming and stronger community, I paraphrase this question and I ask, what are each of us doing for others in Ames? Over the past few years, I have seen and I have come to believe that many in our community are following Dr. King's example of service and are positively responding to my question. I trust and hope that that will continue and even in greater measure. And so tonight I want to thank all the organizers, the sponsors, our distinguished speaker, as well as other participants. I want to thank you for coming out on this cold evening to participate in this. It takes significant effort and planning to create a program like this and make our evening together successful. So once again, on behalf of the City of Ames, welcome to tonight's event.
Thank you, community leaders, for those warm greetings. We appreciate your support of this event year in, year out. It's always a pleasure for you to do that for this event. Next, we will have a musical selection by the Meeker Edwards Elementary students and the Ames Children's Choir. I call them the MLK Children's Choir. Mr. Grimm, who has been dedicated to working with the children year after year, have them perform at this event is such a pleasure. Even during COVID, they performed by video. So he has been so committed to this effort and very passionate, and so are the children. So thank you, parents, for allowing your children to participate in this choir. And I just want to say, Mr. Grimm says this is his last year. So, I know he told me that before, but he's serious this time, so we shall see. But at the end of their singing, let's give him a standing ovation for his effort. It's been over 15, 20 years that he's been doing this, and we deserve to give him a round of a standing ovation. So, without further ado, the Ames MLK Children's Choir.
Thank you all so much for coming tonight. I don't know what I can say, but over the years, thousands of kids have been on this stage singing about Martin Luther King and be a part of this. Some of the students that are former Meeker students or former students that I've had are out here right now. They came back just to see it or be a part of it. So what you see in front of you is just a volunteer group. Nobody had to come tonight. I said, I'm teaching you the music and inviting you. And this many kids came. My close count was about 140 students came out on this horribly cold night. And parents, thank you so much. I see it's basically standing room only. Thank you so much. The thing I'll say, because I don't want to take a lot of time, is I hope this continues throughout all of our elementary schools. I hope that we can put it on a rotation. And honestly, the message that we talk about in the classroom is even more important than this, of how to treat each other no matter what, how to treat each other the way we want to be treated. And I hope that message continues on. So yes, this is my final performance as the teacher here for the Martin Luther King celebration. I'll retire after next year, but this is my favorite performance of any year. I love every year that I come up here and stand in front of kindergarten through fifth graders who look this amazing and are willing to sing for you. So thank you again for the opportunity, for the committee and everybody, and I hope you enjoy our songs. 2 songs named Martin Luther King and then one called Sing About Martin. All right, guys, ready? Hey, eyes on me and sing. They don't know these songs, so have fun with it. as quickly as possible, somebody's going to lead them down the hallway and then back in through those back doors by that area there. And so if you have especially kindergarten and first grade who will struggle finding you, make sure you step out there and give them a little wave so they feel comfortable, and hopefully they'll find you very quickly. Students, I want you to come in quietly though, because they're going to go ahead with the celebration and keep going even though we're walking in. Thumbs up if you understand my words. Awesome.
Wow, always good to see the children perform here, and they just love it and they do an excellent job. Next on our program tonight is our MLK Essay Contest winners. This marks the 5th annual essay contest for area high school students. The topic this year was, how has Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. impacted your life or the life of your family, friends, and community that helps motivate and inspire others to continue his legacy? And we have 3 first, second, and third place winners. And our third place winner this night is Olivia Zing. She's a 9th grade at Ames High. Olivia, you want to come up? Her essay was entitled, "Always Lend a Helping Hand, How Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King Impacted My Life," and her gift is a $200 gift card. Our second place winner is Michaela Carpenter. She's an 11th grader at Roland Story High School. Is Michaela here? Here she is. Her essay was entitled "From Darkness to Light," and her grand prize is $250. And here to share her essay is our first place winner. Her name is Fatah Naraji. She's a senior at Ames High School. Her essay was entitled, "Finding My Voice, From Silence to Service." And she gets a $500 gift card.
I learned early on that standing up for something often means standing alone. A lesson rooted in my family's struggles under Iran's totalitarian government. In that world, expressing rights as basic as those governed by our First Amendment is nothing more than a distant dream. My parents' sacrifices remind me daily that I now have the freedom that they could only imagine. The freedom to speak, to question, and to challenge. But knowing I had that freedom didn't make it any easier to use. In high school cheerleading, unspoken rules often shaped more than just routines. When formations were assigned, a clear pattern emerged. Those who fit the traditional mold were placed front and center, while I, a Middle Eastern girl, who didn't match that image was consistently relegated to the back. Again, no matter my effort or skill. Opinions that challenged the norm were quickly dismissed, and cheerleading had once been my sanctuary, a place where I could excel and feel a sense of belonging. But over time, however, the inequities became impossible to ignore. I faced a choice: remain silent and accept things as they were, or speak out and face the consequences. I chose to speak. I called attention to the favoritism and the unspoken expectation to blend in, hoping to spark change not only for myself, but for others who also felt impacted by mistreated. Instead, I found myself suspended from the competition team. The sport I have devoted years of my hard work to was abruptly taken from me. Teammates distanced themselves, my confidence crumbled, and I found myself isolated with nothing but anger to keep me company. I began to question everything. Why had my family sacrificed so much for me to feel this way in a country built on the principles of freedom? At my lowest point, Dr. King's words came to me. Words I had often read, but now only began to understand. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. His belief that love and empathy are forms of strength resonated deeply. Yet, at the time, those words still felt out of reach. All I felt was anger. How could I find love for those who had turned their backs on me? Months of reflection led me to this realization. I had been viewing the situation through the narrow lanes of my own pain. Dr. King's words started to take on a new meaning. My teammates, like me, were struggling in their own ways. Silence wouldn't change the injustice, but neither would clinging on to that anger. Love big meant finding the courage to extend empathy, even when it felt like the hardest thing to do. This shift in perspective ignited something within me. I had lost cheerleading, but I had found something way more profound: my voice. I discovered a passion for advocacy and policy, realizing that my voice was meant for more than just cheerleading. It was meant to fight for those who, like me, had been silenced. I carried this realization with me on my new role as a student representative on my school board. I vividly remember standing before the board, pleading to be heard about the inequities on my cheer team. Now, sitting on the other side of the table, I had the privilege of using my position to uplift other change makers. My role transformed from one of personal ambition to one of service, and I am determined to keep growing. Dr. King's legacy reminds me that leadership is about service, not power. His philosophy of servant leadership guided my approach as I advocated for policy changes to create a more inclusive environment for students in my district. His dream of just a society inspires me to look beyond personal struggles and focus on creating systems that uplift everyone. And today, I know that comfort is overrated. Staying quiet might have been easier, but it would have allowed the status quo to persist. By speaking up, I empowered myself and inspired others to break free from the constraints of fear. Dr. King's legacy reminds me that true freedom isn't about speaking your mind. It's about choosing to love big and using that voice for others. What once felt catastrophic became a moment of redirection, guiding me towards a life more fulfilling than I could have ever imagined. Thank you.
Let's give a round of applause to all of our essay contest winners. And don't leave tonight. I do have your real gift cards with me, okay? Don't leave them with me, okay? Next up on our program, I'd like to introduce the chair of the Ames Human Relations Commission, Dr. Chen, to introduce the recipient of the Ames Humanitarian Award. Dr. Chen.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Ames Human Relations Commission, it is my honor to introduce the recipient of the 2025 Ames Humanitarian Award, a true pillar of our community, Ms. Latif Fassa. Let me say a few words about Latif's achievements, though I must admit, summarizing her incredible contribution in such a short time is not an easy task. Latif has dedicated her career and personal time to promoting inclusion, breaking down barriers, and uplifting others. Through her involvement with many community boards and organizations, including the Center for Creative Justice, the Story County Housing Trust Fund, and so on, she has been a driving force in building meaningful connections and empowering underrepresented voices. Latif's impact is wide-ranging and profound. She has championed initiatives to improve mental health services, expand rural broadband access, and fight food insecurity. Her visionary leadership in establishing programs such as the Story County Fines Recovery Program has not only supported individuals in need, but also served as models for other communities across the nation. Beyond these tangible achievements, Latif's ability to inspire and mentor others has left an indelible mark. Her dedication to fairness, her passion for inclusivity, and her compassion has made her a role model for so many people, including myself. Tonight, we celebrate Latif not just for what she has done, but also for who she is, a leader, a listener, a mentor, and above all, a humanitarian. Please join me in congratulating Ms. Latif Fassa for this well-deserved honor. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Let's see if he was-
Thanks. I thank you. To say that I am humbled and speechless, I think is completely insufficient. And I think we all know it's not often I'm speechless. But when I got the phone call that I had been nominated and selected, it took me aback. And I think that's because, like so many others who have, who've also received this recognition, I think the thing that we have in common is that our focus is on others. Our focus is on people and making a difference for people. And so when the lights get turned on us, it's a little weird, but it is wonderful and most appreciated. And I hope that I will have many, many more years to continue to serve. And I want to say thank you to the Ames Human Relations Commission, to the committee for putting on this event, and to all the amazing people in my life who have led by example and shaped my journey and my choices. I am very grateful. Thank you.
This is
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Thank you.
sure, you're welcome.
Congratulations, Latifah. Well deserved. Okay, I'm going to go back. Our next presentation on there is our I Have a Dream video. It is our future leaders, and it's the background music of A New Day that's written by Peter Thompson and Abdul Muhammad.
Today I woke up, and what did I see? A boy shot, a man cuffed, a woman locked up, and they looked just like me. And on the TV I saw brown babies in cages with no money, no power, and no mama's embrace.
We make the same mistakes. We think we need to live afraid, rising up by keeping others down, but we can work to find a new way. But I also see folks standing up, speaking out and fighting injustice. Though it feels dark now, we won't fear, we'll make it through.
'Cause I can see the dream of a new day living in you, and I can feel the hope of a new day rising in me. But until we get there, let's walk this road together, stand up for each other until we are free.
To my brother I promise, while it's still called today, I face the sins of my fathers and I'll go another way.
To my sister, I'm with you, I'm committed to see your life with no limits, till you were all that you were made to be.
For those a little different by any other name, we're all God's creation and we love you the same.
And to our children we say, hold on, change is gonna come. We'll fight for you,
we'll fight for you,
and we can do all we can. 'Cause I can see the dream of a new day living in you, and I can feel the hope of a new day rising in me. But until we get there, let's walk this road together, stand up for each other until we are free. This ain't some feel-good moment, we've got a lot of work to do.
Till the promise of freedom is not just for a privileged few.
Let's lift up our voice, we need each other now. A better day is coming, and we can show each other how. 'Cause I can see the dream of a new day living in you, and I can feel the hope of a new day rising in me. But until we get there, let's walk this road together, stand up for each other until we are free. Stand up for each other until we are free.
You know, that song and video just reeks at my heart because it's just what our future should look like. Anyway, next is our introduction of our keynote speaker, Dr. Toya Younger. I had the pleasure of being asked to serve on the search committee for the next Vice President of Student Affairs for Iowa State University, and the top overwhelming choice was Dr. Toya Younger. During that time and today, I found her to be passionate, caring, dedicated, creative individual. Tonight, she will share Dr. Martin Luther King's impact on her life. I am honored to call her my friend. Please give her a very warm welcome to the stage, Dr. Toya Younger.
So, you know you already messed me up, right? Because I thought I was going to come and give a cute little speech. And then y'all got the whole choir singing. I'm trying to figure out how I can take them on the road with me. Anything I say after following them is going to be fantastic. Let's give it up for those kids. That choir was amazing. And then we have this amazing essay, and Fatima's a senior at Ames High, and the whole time I'm leaning over going, is she going to Iowa State? I hope she's going to Iowa State. I got to convince this girl to go to Iowa State this semester. So it's just such a thrill to be here, and I'm so grateful, thankful for Vanessa and the entire planning team for putting together such a wonderful program, and of course the sponsors of this event that mean the world. And so here we are in a new year, 2025. Of course, I just heard someone say, we're a quarter of the way through the new century, and I said, slow down. That's a little bit too much for me. But, you know, time flies when you're having fun, right? I often love the start of a new year. I really do. I find myself thinking about the great potential of the year and what's ahead for the next 365 days. There's a wealth of opportunities that lie ahead, lots of potential for a fresh start. And this year, it's going to take me longer than 3 weeks before I drop off on that New Year's resolution. But I'm going to still be excited about it, right? And so it's a great feeling when the new year starts. There's a sense of hope. It's a clear mentality that everything's going to be okay. We're going to have a reset. And a feeling that I find myself holding on to as long as I can when the new year starts. But the start of this year has been kind of challenging, hasn't it? We were not even fully through the first day of the year when we heard about the horrible tragedy in New Orleans. And then just a week later, we learned about the raging fires in California. That New Year's spark kind of left us, didn't it? We were so ready to do New Year, New Me. And then here we are watching and learning about events across the country that were completely devastating. Not to mention that now here we are 20 days into the year, other things in our own lives have started to pile on, school, work, stress, responsibilities. It is not lost on me that it is going to be negative 31 degrees tomorrow, so we got to figure out how to take care of these kids, right? And so all these things that are going on have kind of taken us away from the excitement of the new year because life is now overwhelming and it's busy and there's a lot going on. And so sometimes trying to have this positive perspective, looking through life with these rose-colored glasses, and then suddenly it feels like you get hit with reality. And unfortunately, I think that when the reality hits, sometimes we have a sense of defeat or disappointment. And unfortunately, I feel like this has become more and more common these days. What inspires me, however, about Martin Luther King Jr. as we celebrate him tonight, it was that during these times of uncertainty, where things seem to be unclear, that he says must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. I'll say that again. We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. I'll admit there have been times where I have lost hope. I had succumbed to the feeling that maybe, just maybe, things weren't going to be as better as I thought. Things in my personal life, things in my professional life, or things that I cared about for others. And I have gotten disappointed when those things didn't go the way that I thought that it should or that it would. But that feeling for me, and I imagine for most of you all in this room, sometimes causes us to feel a little defeated. We lose any and all inspiration and the ability to want to move forward and the desire to make an impact. But what does Martin Luther King Jr. mean by infinite hope? How do we hold on to that? I'd like to believe that we can hold on to hope through educating ourselves and by having a pulse on what's going on in the world around us. As you can imagine, given my position at the university, I strongly believe in the power of formal education. But I also think that having a good sense of what's going on in society around us is just important. And so I'll use myself as an example. Every morning I wake up, and before my feet even hit the ground, I've looked at the Washington Post, the Des Moines Register, the Ames Tribune, Inside Higher Ed, and of course I gotta read the Iowa State Daily because I gotta figure out what these kids are up to, right? But I know that sometimes the news doesn't always initiate feelings of hope. And sometimes it's easy to disconnect from reality and say, I don't want to pay attention to the news. I'm not going to watch what's taking place. But for me, knowing what's going on locally and around the globe prepares me to go about my day thinking about the impact that whatever has happened might have on me, how I show up in spaces and places, and most importantly, how it might impact the students that I serve at Iowa State University. Martin Luther King Jr. made a point that if you want to make a difference in the world, you need to better yourself through education. If we are all committed to educating ourselves, we can collectively hang on to the hope that we will have the information, the willpower, and the skills to be prepared to address the same issues that we read about in the news when and if it potentially impacts our community right here in Ames. I also think that we can achieve Martin Luther King Jr.'s idea of infinite hope by finding common ground with those who have differing opinions from others. Now, I realize that this can be somewhat uncomfortable. To sit in a room face to face with someone with vastly different perspectives from you can be intimidating, especially in a time when it's so easy to hide behind a computer or social media. I know that many times I've had to muster the courage and the energy to have productive conversations with people who have various differing opinions than my own. Too often we find ourselves stuck and can't find the bravery within ourselves to initiate that first step. Yes, we all realize that difficult dialogues can be tough, but I can't even begin to imagine what Martin Luther King Jr. endured as he put himself in situations time and time again where people, especially those in power, had different views from his own. Yet through it all, his courage through adversity never wavered. In Martin Luther King's book, Strength to Love, he states that the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in times of challenge and controversy. Yes, we can admit that this work can be challenging, but there is value in having genuine, thoughtful conversations with those who may disagree with you so that we can find some areas of alignment and to spark hope that can create a path forward for all of us. I believe that if more of us found the courage and the strength to step outside of our comfort zones and to find commonalities with others who have different perspectives from ourselves, then the world would indeed be a much better place. Lastly, I believe if we can hold on to infinite hope by creating spaces where everyone feels that they belong. In higher education settings, we know that a student's sense of belonging is one of the most important things that help our students succeed. At Iowa State University, we have students attending classes from all 99 Iowa counties, all 50 states in the US, and 116 countries from all around the world. These students all have unique lived experiences, differences, and perspectives when they show up on our campus. And while it's easy on a campus of 30,432 students to just go to class and then go right back home and that's it, our research continues to tell us that our students are the most successful when they have productive relationships with those around them. They find their experience on our campus more fulfilling when they can learn from others who have a diverse set of ideas to help them better understand the world around them. These interactions help them feel more connected to the university and that they belong with us because they do belong with us. It helps them develop the tools to persist and ultimately achieve their academic goals. But sometimes these interactions among students don't happen organically. We have to create spaces in which students can be their authentic selves and be vulnerable in order to learn from one another and feel as though they truly belong. And even for many of us here in the Ames community, that feeling of belonging could come from involvement in a religious organization, a service club, a school group like those who are here gathered tonight. When you belong, you're more likely to be a productive citizen that has a positive impact on your community. You have more opportunities to tap into what we like to call infinite hope. I believe we have a shared responsibility to improve our community so that no matter where we turn, everyone in our community can be their best selves. Creating these environments is how Martin Luther King Jr. spent most of his life. He wanted a world where everyone was valued, respected, and had a voice. This morning I read a powerful article that reminded me, and it said, Dr. King's profound commitment to uplifting humanity and his unwavering belief in the potential for unity among all citizens must remain a guiding light for all of us. But we have to be able to work together and to truly understand and address the needs of those who don't feel like they belong here within our own community. And so I charge us today, the community of Ames and Story County, we have to work together to get this right. As we continue our time together tonight, I want us never to lose that infinite hope that we all have within us. Regardless of what might be going on in our lives, remember it's just a finite disappointment. It's a brief moment, but our hope should never waver. Dr. King's dream of a beloved community teaches us that we must lead with empathy, that we must embrace dialogue, and that we must work tirelessly to create space for equality, belonging, and peace. So let us continue to learn about this amazing world that surrounds us. Let's connect with folks from different walks of life and different beliefs. And let's be ready and inspired to create spaces and experience throughout this amazing community that we call home, where everyone will feel welcome and, most importantly, as if they truly belong here. Thank you. Now, before I sit down, I have something to say. It's the elephant in the room. Everyone really wants to know. We are currently in the second quarter. Ohio State and Notre Dame are both tied at 7. So the way I figure is that we can still sit here in fellowship and make it home to see the second half of the game. Thank you so much for having me. It is a pleasure being here.
Thank you, Dr. Younger, for those inspiring words. Let's give her another round of applause, please. All right, we have one more video presentation, and that is written by Reverend James Huey when he first came to Ames about 6 years ago. And we put the song to a video of our community sponsors and leaders.
There was a man who believed in
freedom. Freedom for every color and skin. There was a man who believed in justice. Justice for every one of God's children. There was a man who believed we were all part of one family. I want to be one to hold his legacy. I want to be counted as a one who changes history. I want to be one, one who helps let freedom ring. I want to be one. There was a man who believed in equality, equality for all of mankind. There was a man who believed in victory, victory we celebrate today. There was a man who believed we were all part of one family. I want to be one to hold his legacy. I want to be counted as a one who changes history. I want to be one, one who helps let freedom reign. I want to be one to hold his legacy. I want to be counted as a one who changes history. I want to be one who helps let freedom reign. One who helps let freedom reign. I want to be one.
Well, we're almost at the conclusion of our program this year. I do have a couple of announcements we'd like to share because we want the community to know other events that are going on in connection with Dr. King's celebration. And on Tuesday, January 21st, Cameron Gray, who is the CEO and founder of the Buxton Initiative and one of AIM's talented local artists, will present We Glow in the Dark screening Selma in the Light of MLK Jr. Day. This event will be held in the Ames Auditorium at 7 p.m. Please check out his website and Facebook page called the Buxton Initiative for more monthly events. Also, next month is our celebrating February is Black History Month, and I wanted to share that the Ames branch of the NAACP will be hosting their annual Freedom Fund banquet on Thursday, February 20th, hosted at the Gateway Convention and Conference Center. The keynote speaker is the Honorable Sharon Weston Broome. Please check out the Ames NAACP website, and registration is currently open. And so with that, please check out other Facebook pages and events that are happening throughout our community and throughout our state. And so that concludes our program at this time, and I would like for all of our speakers and our greeters and our winners to come to the stage, please. And we're going to close out our program with you and everyone singing, "We Shall Overcome." Let's go. Again, thank you so much for coming out on this cold night. I think it was this cold last year. Maybe it was colder. But you show out, you show up, and you support this event every year. And the committee, where's my committee members? Everybody, let's go up. Let's move it. This game is on. We got to get home. Let's go. Across the stage. Come up a little closer there. But thank you again for letting the children participate. They're the ones that really make this event celebratory. And is everybody here? Okay, let's all stand and sing one stanza of "We Shall Overcome." Y'all don't want me to sing in the mic now. Good night, everybody. We'll see you in 2026. Be safe out there. Stay warm. Thank you again.